Okay, welcome back as we discuss gerunds and infinitives. And remember, a gerund is simply the present progressive with the ing ending. So hike, the gerund would be hiking. Okay, so that's what a gerund is. And what makes it a noun instead of a verb? Well, we're going to take a look at that this video, and I'm going to show you two different tests to help you with gerund phrases. Okay, a gerund phrase is simply a special noun phrase, so it follows the same exact rules for identifying noun phrases. It's just a noun phrase. It's a special type of noun. Okay, so we're going to take a look at these with some examples. All right, so let's take a look at this one. The gerund is in italics here, and the whole gerund phrase would be underlined. Okay, so working takes all my waking hours. All right, that's just working as a noun here. Working takes all my waking hours. And then here's the noun, whole gerund or noun phrase. Working on this project, because it tells us more about working. So it's an adjective phrase, right? Or an adjective phrase. On this project takes all my waking hours. Okay, how do you check this? Well, there's two ways to check whether it's a gerund or a gerund phrase or whatever. So I'll tell you the first way. The first way is obviously the pronoun it can replace all gerund phrases and infinitive phrases, okay, that are acting as nouns. So let's take a look at it like this. Working takes all my waking hours. It takes all my waking hours. So I know working has to be a noun because I can replace it with a pronoun, okay? Working on this project takes all my waking hours, okay? It, once again, it not only replaces the gerund, but it replaces the whole noun phrase. I can't say it on this project. Nope. I have to say it takes all my waking hours. So you can see that the third person pronoun replacement test will replace the whole gerund phrase, which means the gerund phrase is the noun phrase. Okay, so let's take another look at this, and I'm going to show you another test as well to use. Okay, complaining won't do you any good. And then the whole gerund phrase, complaining about the poor service won't do you any good. Once again, I can replace this with it. It won't do you any good. Or the whole gerund phrase, it won't do you any good. Same thing. It about the poor service? No. You have to replace the whole noun phrase. Okay? So that's one way of identifying whether an ing verb is a noun or a gerund. Okay? So an ing verb can be a noun or a gerund. So let's take a look at, it can be a verb or a gerund, which is a special type of noun. So let's take a look at another situation. We haven't gotten to this, so I'm going to teach you a new term. When we identify, how can you identify the verb in a sentence? Well, if you can identify the verb in the sentence, you can always change the tense of the verb. You can change the tense, and that wherever you change the tense is the start of usually of the preposition. So let's take a look here. We're going to change the tense here. The most easiest tense to use is will. You can put will in front of the verb and say the verb and say it like it's happening in the future, and then you will find the tense. Okay, so let's take this. Working takes all my waking hours. Working will take. Okay, working will take. So if I change this to the future, I replace the word take. Working will take all my working hours. That way I know take is the verb. Okay, takes is the verb here because I can put it into the future tense. Okay, let's try to put the working in future tense and see what happens. Okay, will work takes all my waking hours. Well, I can't change. That doesn't make sense. Will work takes all my waking hours? No. So I can't change working into put it into the future tense, can I? If I cannot change the tense of the word, it is not a verb. It is a verb acting as another part of speech. And in this situation, it's acting as the subject, okay? Let's do this one. Complaining won't do you any good. This is in the negative, so it's a little harder to will not, okay, do you any good. So you can change that. The negative is a little harder to show you on the tense, but will not is what you would do. So that's the verb. So I could put here will complain, checking to see if this is a verb. Will complain won't do you any good. Well, that doesn't make sense. So I can't change complaining into a verb. I can't change the tense. Therefore, complaining is acting as another part of speech, in this case a noun, okay? So that's another way to identify whether it's a verb or to identify whether it's a gerund. You can use a pronoun replacement test, third person pronoun replacement test with it, or you can try to change it into the future tense with putting will in front of it, okay? If you can do one of those, if you can do this, it's a gerund. If you can't do this, it's a gerund, okay? So let's go on. Those are two ways to identify gerunds. Running really helps me lose weight. Running really will help me lose weight. So I know help is the verb, okay? So can I put running? Will run really helps me lose weight? No, okay? And then once again, you can replace the whole thing with it. It really helps me lose weight, okay? So you can change and see that gerunds are acting as nouns, okay, even though they look like verbs. Since gerund phrases are noun phrases, it can always be identified by the third person replacement test, as we've already seen, okay? You can read through that. It says, to this point, we have only looked at gerund phrases that function as subjects, but remember, gerunds can also, noun phrases can also be in different parts of the sentence. They can be objects of prepositions, okay? They can be in the object, they can be a complement of a linking verb, they can be all these things. And I don't want you to get too hung up on these terms yet, because we're going to work with them and you're going to become comfortable with them. But let's take a look at some of these verbs in an object. Remember, if something is an object, it's receiving an action. Something is being done to it. Okay? So it's receiving an action. All right? So let's take a look. I hate spending so much money on gasoline. I hate it. Well, what is being hated? This. Spending too much money on gasoline. So the whole noun phrase is right here. Now sometimes the it on the end, this is a little tricky because we're talking about it being grammatically correct. Grammatically. It's not always going to make sense. It might change you might lose the meaning of the sentence, but as long as you can grammatically say, put it on the end, you're replacing the whole noun phrase, okay? Just remember that sometimes you might lose the meaning of the sentence, but it will still be grammatical, okay? I hate it, okay? Don't you just love taking a couple of days off work? Don't you just love taking a couple days off work? So taking a couple, don't you just love it? So whatever you're going to replace with it is the object. I enjoy. What do you enjoy? Working with my hands. I enjoy it. So these are all in the object position. Okay, they're taking they're receiving the action of the verb. All right. So object of a preposition. Basically, remember the prepositions. I got my job by working as an intern for 6 months. By is a preposition, that's your flag word. The object of the preposition, well, it's the whole noun phrase, okay? Before doing anything, before is a preposition, object of the preposition, doing anything. So if the noun phrase is an object of the preposition, if there's a preposition beforehand, then we have to look at it. After, okay, was my main concern was getting started so late, okay? So we can look at the object of the preposition, okay? Okay, and there's with the job, okay? So you can look at those, and that will help you out. Okay, it says since gerunds are derived from verbs, adverbs that originally modified verbs. Okay, let's take a look at here. These are not objects of prepositions here, so I don't know why they put them in the same activity. They're being a predicate nominative. Okay, let's look at a predicate nominative. Anytime you have a linking verb, was, is, afterwards, my main concern was getting started so late. What was the concern? Well, it restates it, getting started so late. The problem with the job is, well, what is the problem? Right here, tells you what the problem is, having to commute so far to work. Okay, so these linking verbs, these are called predicate nominatives. Okay, predicate nominative. It means that when you have a linking verb, the object of the linking verb renames the subject. Okay, it renames it. Okay, right now our goal is, what is our goal? It renames it. Finishing the job on time. So finishing the job on time within the budget is the goal. So it renames the goal. Okay, we'll go over predicate nominatives and all that terminology in class, hopefully enough to where you understand the terms and can use them. But that's where we are, okay? Okay, she stressed the importance of always meeting our commitments on time. So how would I know this is a gerund right here? Well, let's change the tense. Let's put will in, as it's going to happen in the future. She will stress. Oh. She will stress the importance of always meeting our commitments on time. So this is the verb, stress, okay? Because I can put it in the future tense. Remember, there's only one tense verb per sentence. How about, can I change meeting? She stressed the importance of always will meet. Of always will meet our commitments on time. Well, I can't change the tense of meeting there, can I? So I know meeting cannot be a verb because I can't change the tense. So it's acting as another part of speech, which is a gerund phrase. All right? All right. Well, if you have questions, always come before class, as always. And we're just going to, here in this exercise, we're going to underline the gerund phrases in the following sentences. It says, confirm your answer by replacing the gerund phrase with it. Now remember, you're going to lose the meaning of the sentence, but as long as you can replace it with it and still have a grammatically correct sentence, then you can identify the gerund phrase, all right? And you have 20 of them to do, so we'll do the first 5 together. Okay? Let's take a look here. It says, putting the schedule on the website really made it much easier to plan our meetings. Okay? Putting the schedule on the website. On the website's prepositional phrase. First, I'm going to identify the verb. I'm going to put this in the future tense. Putting the schedule on the website really will make. Okay. It much easier to plan our meetings. So made is the verb here. So I can identify the verb. So putting the predicate is before that. It, putting is the gerund, and the whole phrase, it really will make it much easier to plan our meetings. Okay, so it really will make it much easier to plan our meetings. Okay, so this whole phrase right here is replaced with it. Okay, that's the gerund phrase. How about the next one? Let's take a look at the next one. I vaguely recall hearing some discussion about that. Let's put it in the future tense. I vaguely will recall. So it's going to be happening in the future. Hearing some discussion about that. Okay, so hearing, recall is the verb. So I is the subject. So this must be the gerund right here. Hearing some discussion about it. I vaguely recall it. What does it replace? Hearing some discussion about that. Okay? All right. So, how about this one? We need to talk about solving the quality control problems. We will need. So need is the verb. Okay, so solving is the gerund. Okay, we need to talk about it. I can replace this whole phrase with it. Okay, so I know it's the gerund, solving the quality control problems. Okay, so let's look at, can I change solving into a verb? Well, let's see. We need to talk about will solve. See, when I try to put down the future tense, we need to talk about will solve the quality control problems. Well, that doesn't make sense. So I know that solving, even though it looks like a verb, can't be a verb because I cannot change the tense. Okay? So it's acting as a gerund because I can replace it with it. Okay? We need to talk about it. All right. We're going to do one more. How about his weakness was trying to please everyone? Okay, was trying. This is tricky because was trying. It looks like a past progressive, huh? So this is tricky. So we can check this two ways. Well, first, let's try to change this verb into the future tense. It's in the past tense, so we could change it into the simple past too. We'll try both. His weakness will try to please everybody. That doesn't make sense. Okay. How about this one? His weakness will be trying to please everyone. So will be. His weakness will be trying to please everyone. Do you see how I didn't replace trying? So it's not part of the verb in this situation. Okay, let's put it in the simple past and see what we can do. His weakness tried to please everybody. Well, that doesn't make sense. His weakness can't try to please anything. All right, so I can't change the tense of that verb. So I can only, this is the past, that's the verb only. Okay, his weakness was it. Well, that doesn't make a lot of sense, but it's grammatically proper. Okay, but I can't change trying into the future, and I can't change it into a past tense, the simple past. So that's actually the gerund, and was is the only verb. Okay, his weakness was it. Trying to please everyone is the it is the predicate nominative. All right, this is the linking verb. We're renaming what his weakness is. We're identifying it. We restated his weaknesses as this: trying to please everyone. That is his weakness. So it renames or restates what weakness is. Predicate nominative, okay? So it's acting as a gerund. All right, so hopefully you collaborate with your friends and get some help. And if you have questions, please come in before school or after school, and I will definitely help you out. Good luck, and I'll see you in the next video.